Greetings, inspired conversations, and a happy Sunday. I have been jamming today to Daryl Coley's "I Need Your Spirit." And, sometimes you go through certain spaces where you realize you have overcome or have been healed in reference to certain things that used to really keep you stuck. It was a point where I couldn't listen to gospel music at all. And my buddy, he grew up in church, but he decided to become Muslim, and he raised his family Muslim, all the things. And I would talk to him. We talk about spirituality all the time, and he told me he would listen to a good gospel song on any day. And I said, I can't do it. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me anymore. And he said, well, let it bless you. I'm like, what? He was like, no, really. What it was, it still is. You've changed, but let it bless you. Let it bless you. Shed a tear to a good gospel song. I certainly do. I'm like, okay. So over the years, I kept trying. And eventually I got to a space where I could really enjoy a gospel song. And I'm really here now. Not the newer ones. Now, the reason is because the spirit is different. It's like we're less human than we've ever been, to me. So the spirit of humanity is what makes music. It's what makes gospel music, because there's a desire to connect to that spirit of humanity, and we desire that less and less and less. And gospel music it personified that desire to do it, even though it mutated. It started as one thing within the culture, and then it mutated into something else because we had to hide our traditions so that we weren't killed or unalived, excuse me. I don't know if they'll stop me for that, but for our religious practices or spiritual practices and traditions. So we had to assimilate into Christianity and other spiritual religions that were not necessarily of our culture or heritage. But initially, there was still a desire to connect with that spirit of humanity that is within everybody. And over time, it has become less and less and less and less. I remember my herbalist back home, I used to buy my herbs from him. And he was like, I feel bad for these children because, everybody's a copy of a copy of a copy. And every copy gets weaker. And I was like, wow, I've never heard anybody say that. But he said, he was like, one group was really strong, and then they gave birth to the next group. They were washed, and then it happened again, and they were washed, and every copy becomes weaker, and the picture becomes less clear. So over time, our spirit has become minimized. Our desire to connect with that higher awareness genuinely and in a way that is pure. That's what it feels like to me. That's what I hear when I hear certain things. That's what I see when I see certain people. I see that lack of genuine want and desire to be human, to touch the human spirit and know what it is to be spirit at its purest. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all are. But I could talk about that forever. Long story short, it is really nice to be able to connect to gospel music again. Not the newer ones. I can't figure that out, but the older ones. And I saw somebody saying something about why people have stopped going to church, because those of us who have still that aching and that desire to connect with the human spirit, we see that fakeness. We see that desire to want to be famous or loud or boastful or whatever, and it's not pure. Nobody wants to be touched by that person. Nobody wants to be led by that person. Nobody wants to be really in a room with those people, and we definitely don't want to donate $1. Oh my God. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because it feels good to, like, hear songs that make you smile. Hear gospel songs that make you smile. I remember, last thing I'm going to say, I remember I was taking my kids to church when they were really, really little, and my daughter, she probably would never remember, but she was like, I don't want to go. I said, why? She was like, because they always crying. So I didn't take her. Like, children will tell you, like, it wasn't supposed to be a place of somber and sadness. It was supposed to be a place of joy and upliftment. And of course, through appreciation, sometimes we get so happy that we do cry. Sometimes we get so grateful that we do cry. But the cry is not to cry out for, sadness. It's a cry of appreciation and happiness. And that cry has changed today. It really has. But it's nice to be able to connect to gospel music. That's my inspired conversation. Y'all be well, stay well, have a good one. Peace.